Assalamu alaikum. I am a Muslim. I'm a revert. This is my dad. This is my mom. Neither of them are Muslims. And in this video, I'm going to ask them the controversial questions that everybody has been requesting. Starting off, what was your reaction when I told you I was a Muslim?
I wasn't really surprised, over the many months preceding that. You showed a lot of interest, and also your time in Pakistan was really pivotal, and I could tell through our many conversations that was have a large impact. I knew you were going to the mosque regularly. You spoke of the people being inspirational and the kindness and the generosity of the community. So it was more prior to you saying you had reverted, I was more waiting to hear that. So I was prepared and really open to what that would mean. And, I definitely had questions, and didn't take long for most of them to be resolved and me to be at peace with your new path and the pluses it brought for you.
I would say it was a mixed experience. I first off was kind of excited because I love anything where someone is rooted in spirit and something that makes them a better human. And so to have you committed to a path that was making you a better person was exciting. I thought it was cool. I also had some reflection of how that's perceived because in the United States, there's a lot of misperception on Muslims. And especially after 9/11, it got associated in a bad association, which isn't correct. And so I had some initial care for you that I didn't want people to perceive it that way. But you owned it, and the people I love were in sport of it, and it also encouraged me to dig deeper into what does that mean, and opened me up as a person too to see that as something positive. And in general, I think it's been a positive impact on you.
Yeah, I know it's not the case for a lot of people. So alhamdulillah, I'm very blessed. I appreciate you guys. And a certain shout out to my parents. Neither of them really want to come on the camera, but they're doing this because that's how amazing they are. Did you guys have any concerns after, when I initially told you I'm a Muslim? Was there any initial concerns about it?
Some of my concerns would have been I just I didn't know how things may change. With anybody and their belief systems and structures and their religions, that can make a big impact, and it can create a divide in people if they're not paying attention to the relationship that existed and still can exist if certain things are taken care of. So I didn't know if your new belief structure was going to negatively impact our relationship. Because honestly, I had no, prior to one family in high school, I had never known any other people who were Muslim. So I had no real experience. And so most of where I've lived, it was all what we get through media and stuff. And I inherently know I have to doubt some of that. So that was my go-to. I don't really know from personal experience, so I need to come to learn and open. And I think from what I've seen with a lot of your content, I think it really touches on that niche that there's just a huge amount of people in the world, and we're all people experiencing similar things. And just because we choose one type of path over another type of path, that there has to be an inherent difference, and we have to build up constructs to make one more or less desirable than the other. But because we spoke so much, I felt assured in that the character I had known growing up with you, raising you, was still very much there. And that also there are many new specific examples of how that was even improved upon. And I believe your time you've had this past year plus, you've really grown in a lot of character and appreciation, and really reach out to people and have this amazing ability to build a rapport with people, and it's admirable. And so that your religion has been a part of that, and it's made a lot of good changes, or even just better evolutions and growth.
I would say my biggest concern is I didn't want people to misperceive who you were. And that was coming from a Western mindset of how people prejudge Muslims without knowing anything about it. And I didn't want the people that loved you to love you any less. I wasn't concerned like, oh, you'd been radicalized, because I do feel like you've always been such a strong person that like you weren't gonna jump into anything that wasn't right for you. So yeah, I think my biggest concern was just care for you, that I didn't want you to be judged negatively.
So you already answered parts of this in what you were saying, but I'll still ask it. What about me has changed since I became a Muslim?
Well, you've grown in many ways. One thing I will say is some things haven't changed as well, like just your sense of humor and just the personality, the gregariousness. But what has changed is you've become more disciplined. You have a character of responsibility, a nature of responsibility has become part of your character. Responsibility in a lot of ways, to family, to memories, to maintaining relationships, also obviously with your current endeavors. You're a hard worker, it's clearly evident. And this balance of creating structure that is like that of a building, it builds us as people, and we have something that we can guide ourselves in a particular way, all the while still maintaining your lovingness and just the parts we've known for the last 20, nearly 21 years. So I think just in your progress of becoming a man, I think, and all the best parts of that, and so I think I've really respected this growth.
I would say the biggest change I've seen is your sense of being at peace. That you just have a great trust that everything is working out the way it is supposed to be. So that's been noteworthy. Also, your grateful heart. I feel like you've really embraced gratitude and made that a practice of your everyday life, of being grateful for who you are, the family you came from, and residing in the heart space.
Just a few more. What have you learned about Islam since I became a Muslim?
It's a good question.
It can be like maybe notions that you had that are no longer there. Like, it doesn't have to be a fact that you've learned or something that's changed.
Well, I think something that's impressed upon me more is I would like to have more firsthand experience. A couple of things earlier on that stood out is that two people, a doctor and your mom's parents, both had traveled to Muslim countries. One was Morocco, and the other was multiple ones, but really commented on the level of community and society, and what they said they saw people taking care of one another. So basically, the impression I get is a sense of a culture that really focuses on, or has a focus of, some quality aspect of interpersonal relationships within your family and within your community. So that aspect really intrigues me, because I think it's really important, because some of these things we in Western culture, maybe specifically in the U.S., get, and that is like such a valuable part that may not be a prominent stereotype that's projected, and it's a very relevant one, And I think it keys into we're all people on this earth together, and we are yearning for similar things most of the time, the commonality. So that's one thing that intrigues me to learn more about from my experience, because I feel a lot of hope that anything that can become right is by a commonality amongst the people.
I'm going to have Canyon repeat the question.
What have you learned about Islam since I became a Muslim, or what notions like that you maybe had that no longer exist?
Similar to what Brandon said, I definitely have picked up of the sense of community and the community support. And even like when I'm reading your comments, it's like so much love outpouring that's been impressive. The community aspect. And also I think how you've embraced your family as well. Like you came from a family that you love, but I feel like since becoming a Muslim, it also has illuminated the importance of family. And that makes me happy because I'm part of your family.
I love how you say Muslim, because Americans say Muslim, but you actually pronounce it more accurate. It's Muslim.
I think that's probably because I've been listening to
That's one thing we've learned.
I was like, oh, wait a second. That's not how it's said.
Final question. Do you still love me now that I'm a Muslim?
Yeah, totally.
Good, I hope so.
Yeah, and I think I think really some of the most important parts is, and I would say, as I identified earlier on, is what we want out of our relationships, and prioritizing that and recognizing that and understanding that, so that when we hit things that are challenging or new or questionable or we don't know, we don't go with this preconceived notion, and we say, hey, this relationship is important to me, let me see what I need to do to manage this, or how I need to learn and grow. And that wasn't difficult at all, because one thing we've had this last few years is communication, just really talking, and I think that's really valuable, where I get to talk and say my opinion, and I listen to yours without like, no, that's totally wrong, you can't do it that way. I can say, I don't like that idea, but and more because talking to your son or your daughter or your child as they are adult, because that's what they are or are becoming. And so my love for you has grown because my respect for you has grown.
That was good. Yes, I definitely still love you. I'm your mom, so that's a given that I'll love you. But the fact is, I feel like you've just become more. And you stepping into Islam has just illuminated some of the positive factors and traits that you already are. So, yeah.
I love you guys too. Thank you. Group hug. Love you.
Love you too.